I just got the Herman Miller in from the FedEx guy. He finally was able to get it out of the truck, so that's really exciting. I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like out of the box, and it just comes like, look how tall I am. I'm 5'2", and this is how tall that package is. I got the size A in the silver color. I'll let you guys know what exact color and model that I got down below in the description, but I'm going to go ahead and open it and show you guys what is inside this huge box. So this video is only to cover the things that I considered when picking this chair because I will be working remotely from home, and I wanted to give you the different highlights from a realistic point of view, not from like a technical specifications comparing them to other chairs, just the fact that I had this chair recommended to me by several different people on Facebook, friends and family, and also as I began researching it, you know, I read through all the famous people that had this chair who worked on their butts a lot, and they recommended it, so I wanted to kind of check it out for myself. I'm not one to always follow on the bandwagon, but when it comes to being efficient and helping me be more productive during the day, which means keeping my butt in the chair to produce content or work in my corporate day job, I'm going to invest in it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I researched and what I considered when buying this chair. And again, this is around $1,600 for buying this chair, which is kind of insane to me. So stay tuned, I'm going to go through all the different details. I'm going to quickly go through all the different ways you can adjust things, and then I'll talk a little bit more in detail on each of them, okay? So this is the extra headset that you can get off of Amazon. Again, not Herman Miller, okay? So there you go, there's that. You adjust it here, there's a little knob here that you can, you know, you have to get up out of your chair to adjust it to the height that you want it. So that's that. And then you've got your arm, goes up and down, and you have to use both hands. I know that's kind of a pain for some people, but I don't change this very often. So that's the armrest. And then you've got the back. You just adjust it back and forth, just like that. And then you've got the tilt. So the tilt is on this side right here, and then you just push it down, and then you kind of rock in order to tilt it. And then if you want to rock it back, you just click it, and then it clicks, and then it goes back, okay? So then you've got this like seat adjuster, so it's not bad. And then you've got how far you want this to be rocked back and forth. You just switch this up and down. And I think I've covered pretty much all of the different settings that you have for this chair. It's a pretty amazing chair, so there you have it. Let's talk through all the different costs, different features on it. I'm going to just cover the highlights, at least from what I reviewed, in order to justify this really expensive purchase for this chair that I'm going to be sitting in for about 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. So I'm just going to show you the highlights of what I thought was important, especially from working from home remotely these days for my career. Alright, so now that I've got it all unboxed, I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to tell you exactly what my settings are. This is the Herman Miller A chair. I got the mineral version. The Herman Millers that you guys normally see that are infamous are the ones that are in graphite. This also comes with like this aluminum look as well. So this is mineral and in satin, and your options are, you have graphite and graphite, you have mineral polished aluminum, and then you have mineral with satin, and then you have this last one, which is the graphite and the aluminum. And again, I chose the mineral and satin because I just like the look of it. I also chose various different options, which includes the tilt, which I'll show you here in a minute. But what I wanted to share with you guys is that there is a slight difference between the ones that you buy from Herman Miller now, and they call this the remastered version, versus the classic version. If you're thinking about whether or not to buy the classic version versus the remastered version, I did some research on this, and I found that there are about 8 or so differences. One of them being that with the remastered version, I think they went from being able to support people that were 300 pounds to 350 pounds, and then now it also supports people that are a little bit taller by an inch. So it used to be that this would support someone who was 6 feet 6 inches, now 6 feet 7 inches. So if that's really important to you, that's something else to consider as well. The other things that I found was that the mechanism for making sure that you can easily move back and forth down your armrest is a little bit easier using this knob versus this little turning wheel thing. The downside of the remastered, the new versions, is that with the tilt feature, I guess with the old version it was infinite versus this one, you actually have only 3 settings where you can tilt, and you have to rock back in order to activate it. So that's just something to consider. So those were the 2 or 3 big things that I saw that were different from the classic versus remastered. If you go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, you'll find these chairs at around $300 to $500, $600 if it's a good one, especially with the new chairs. If you go on Facebook, you'll find these actually reasonably priced, between $250 all the way to $600 for one of these chairs in good condition. And normally they will be the classic version. One way that you can tell whether or not a chair is a classic version is if you go and look at the chair, okay, and you look at that knob. If it is a flip lever, you know that it is a remastered version, but if it's a wheelie one where you kind of turn the dial, that is a classic chair. And then also the wire down below, there is a wire down below on a classic chair versus a remastered. Everything, I mean, there's no real wire there. So there's one black wire that you'll see on the classic. Those are 2 ways that I think you can easily identify a classic chair versus a remastered chair, knowing that you might pay a premium for the remastered chair. So just FYI, and these chairs have a 12-year warranty, so maybe ask what year the chair was made, because that'll be really important. I've never heard of someone using the 12-year warranty on a chair they bought used, so I don't know how that would work, or if that transfer would even work if you were trying to claim warranty status on a chair. But I just wanted to show you guys kind of a close-up of what this chair looks like, and you guys will probably find me in a few different outfits just because I wanted to test out this chair in various days and just make sure that you guys understood what I felt about it. Again, this is me in my first week or so using the chair. It's been amazing. I got this headrest from Amazon. It is not a Herman Miller approved headrest, but it is made for Herman Miller. Again, it's not OEM, and it was really easy to put in. This chair is amazing. I mean, I don't get tired at all sitting in this chair. When I had my Ballard design chair, which I'll link to that unboxing as well, I just felt like I had to get up every so often. And with this chair, I mean, I could work through. We needed a chair that I could sit in for long hours if I'm in focus mode and just make sure that my body didn't get fatigued. And this chair has done that and more. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this back up, let it lock, and now it's back in that position. And I'm going to go through a little bit more details on this, but I wanted to show you guys exactly how I set up the headset. Alright, so for this headset, you guys can see the coloration is really on point. This headrest looks a little lighter than this, but I mean, it matches pretty well. I have no complaints there. So you guys can see that this goes up and down, okay? Okay, the way that you put this on is you have to have a screwdriver, and then you're screwing like this little knob in here underneath, and I had to get a very narrow screwdriver with a narrow handle in order for me to kind of screw it in. So in order to attach this, you actually have to kind of slide it through, and then you put a screw in there and it kind of tightens up, and then this gets tight. Now, if you have the A version, which you kind of know by just touching the panel here, and if it has 1 dot, it's an A, 2, B, 3, C. And if you have the A, you want to make sure that you take the screw that's out of here and use the one that comes with the packaging. I had to finagle with it and figure out why it wasn't staying. And once I figured out that it was a screw that I had to fix, it went on fine. But this is overall a pretty easy way to like put it on. And then again, you can change this up however you want to. So if you want to kind of stick it out a little bit, you could, and then you kind of pop that down, and then this goes up and down if you want to. Look how close of a match that is. That's pretty darn incredible on how closely it matches like the mesh here and the mesh here. So that's what it looks like close up. The only thing I would consider about buying this chair is if you're someone who likes to sit like this or like this, you might be careful because it's not very comfortable if you like to cross your legs or put your feet up. But overall, the Herman Miller Aeron chair is amazing. It's so comfortable. I have it set up now so that I can actually like lean back as much as I want to, because you can actually change the tension on how far this leans back, okay? And so I have it leaning back, but just enough where, you know, if I don't want to lean back, I can tighten it. And it also has this front lift, and I finally figured out how to do the front lift, okay? So you have to move it forward, and then it kind of rocks back, and then you can go forward, just like that. And if you're like the type that likes to type like this, forward, that's how you do it. But you just have to like click it to rock back. Again, this is the remastered version, and that means that like this little housing area is a little bit different. The settings here are a little bit different, and you'll see like a wire, I think, for the classic chair, but overall I absolutely love the remastered version. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it back. Okay, so now it sits back and it's not leaning anymore. See that? All right, so the way that you set up the armchairs is you go ahead and, actually, hold on. You can't do it with like just one hand, okay? Like you have to use two hands. So you use this little lever, you pick it up, and you move it up and down. So that's how you move the armchair. The other thing I would say is that if you have the A version, which is a smaller version, you'll need to make sure that when you set up the headrest, you take out the nut that's in there and put the other nut that comes with it. So that's what I learned. I was like having trouble with getting it on, and then I realized that I had it on all wrong. But overall, this is amazing. I love this chair so much. The only other knob that I have that, I mean, this one like just tightens like the chair to see how far you want to lean back. And then the headset I think goes up, but I don't really mess with the headset very much. So the headset's really awesome when I'm just wanting to think and I'm just like sitting back like this and just trying to think and basically concentrate, but I don't find myself actually leaning back as far as I thought I would. I generally like am typing and my body is just up like this, not necessarily like lean back. If you want to know whether or not the headrest is worth it, not really. I find myself maybe once or twice a day kind of leaning back like this, but other than that, I mean, I don't do it very often, but it's kind of nice to have when I want to have a headrest, right? If I'm like leaning back, it's kind of nice just to have that headrest there versus my head just bouncing back and forth. Overall, I absolutely love my Herman Miller Aeron chair. I think it's a great investment, especially for my home office. Again, you guys, I work remotely from home. Monday through Friday, like I'm in this office every day pretty much, and I just needed something where I would be comfortable sitting, and that hardwood chair that I got from Ballard Design was not cutting it for me, even with buying that cushion and that back. I actually gave it to my kids for their space, but this one is definitely way better. I absolutely love it. I thought I'd actually hate having armrest for whatever reason. I wasn't a big fan of armrest, but with this Herman Miller, it's just so comfortable. Everything is so comfortable with it. I mean, my butt sits really well on it. My back, I can lean up against it. Normally with a really hard chair, like I find that I have to get up, but I could sit in this all day, pretty much. I shouldn't, but I do. And I have a standing desk, so I just push it back and then do the standing desk thing whenever I need to. So overall, I definitely would recommend buying one of these chairs. You can find one on Craigslist. Like I looked and looked whenever this one was being shipped to me. They're about $300 to $400 used for the classic. Just be aware of that. But I wanted one that was smaller to fit my frame. This is again a size A. Most of the ones that you'll find on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace will be about $300 to $400, and it's typically the classic version. Again, I got the remastered version, and you can probably find some pictures to see why and how they're different. So the other thing about the armrest is that this part comes in like this aluminum color as well, but I didn't want the aluminum color just because I felt like that was kind of Terminator-y. I know it sounds weird, but I didn't like that like aluminum look, and so I absolutely love how this one looks. It just looks clean. I think that it has a really nice look to it, especially with my white furniture in here. It's kind of messy in my space, so it really doesn't matter what it looks like, but it's great. I mean, it kind of meshes the space well. It's better than the black one that I could have chose. Overall, I would highly recommend it. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to go ahead and comment below. I can do another video on this on certain aspects if you guys want me to cover that. Go ahead and leave me a comment below. If you like videos like this, I'm going to start sharing more tips and tricks on some gear that I use from working from home. Again, I have a corporate day job, 9 to 5. I love gadgets. I love productivity tips or productivity gadgets that make me work better and more efficient because I'm a mom of 4. I work from home, but I also love doing some side hustles, and so having the time to do some of that stuff is really important to me. I love sharing some of the things that I've learned along the way. So make sure you subscribe, click the bell notifications for the next time I create a new video. Thanks guys, bye.